Well, here we are back in Noda, and we did a recent video in this VR multiplayer brainstorm collaboration tool, whatever you want to call it. It's available on many of the leading VR headsets. I downloaded it on the VR headset called the Oculus Quest 1, and what I'm going to show you today in this 5-minute video is how you can use tools like this to teach particular concepts in education, in particular the third conditional in English. So this is a structure in grammar which allows you to talk about past unreal events, and we're going to look a little bit more about that in a moment. But what you can see I'm doing here is creating the ingredients or the components that make up this particular grammatical structure. We always use if, then we're going to use it in the active form. So any teachers out there might be questioning, is this the passive or active form? This is the active. I'll give you a flavour of what that actually means in a moment with some concrete examples, but we're going to start off with the active third conditional form. So if plus a subject, and I've given that a yellow sphere, then have, or a form of the verb have, which is the past participles. That's going to be had in all cases, but just to focus students' minds on, let's say, the infinitive forms or root forms that make up these grammar structures. So we've got 4 of the key components at the moment. If is a star, it's blue. We've got subject, which is a yellow sphere. We've got have, which is always going to be had in the past form as a red cube, and we've got the past participle, which is the third form of the verb. So just for anybody out there who is learning English as a foreign language, or just wants to know because they're an educator and just is curious about this fascinating topic of verbs, we refer to the past participle as the third form. So for example, that would be taken. So take is the present simple, then we've got took, and then we've got taken. So taken is the past participle. Given, walked, slept. These are all the past participle forms of regular and irregular verbs. So we're building out our structures here. I actually accidentally brought that in. We're going to delete that right now. So we've got if plus subject plus have plus the past participle. Then we've got the subject again. And I made a mistake here, not with the grammar form, but the way I'm laying out these components. So we're going to see that in a moment. Let's see if you can guess what I could have done better. But subject plus the modal verb, would, could, should, might, have, must, may, ought, plus have, plus the past participle. So you've prepared your scene, and you can actually do this in front of students in real time. You could then break it up into random order, as I'm doing now. So I'm just grabbing each of these shapes, breaking up the order that they would ordinarily follow, and again that stimulates conversation, dialogue among your students. You could get them to again reflect on what was the order that they previously saw, testing their memory, a key part of learning. I've selected all of the objects here, as you can see, and I'm connecting now if to what's the next part? There we go, subject. So what we're doing is just visualizing in a different 3-dimensional way in this virtual immersive space, a way that you could connect all of the dots. And coming back to what I said before, I didn't have subject as the yellow sphere, I had it as a different shape. So I've just corrected that right now in real time. And just to, again, let's say attribute certain shapes and colours to particular verb forms or components of the language is, again, potentially an important way of trying to embed visually components of the language into the student's mind without confusing them. So we're building out now the structure, we're connecting the dots literally in VR. So if plus subject plus have plus past participle. So if Michael, subject, had in the past form eaten his dinner, he would, which is the modal verb there, the diamond, have, there's the red cube, felt, past participle, better, because he had eaten his dinner. So that didn't happen in real life. We won't get too deep into the grammar, but the point is, as you can see here, we're just connecting the dots. We are manipulating the components of this grammatical structure in a very creative and engaging and visually, aesthetically pleasing way, which is all going to feed into the way that students are hopefully going to be able to not just scaffold their learning, but also reinforce it in active ways. And again, you can just break it up in front of their eyes. And this could be done as a demonstration to the students. You could just tell them the components verbally and get them to assign the shapes themselves. Again, more active learning and kinesthetic learning as well, getting them literally out of their chairs and moving around the virtual space. And we're duplicating all of those components right now. And you could get the students working in different parts of the space to unravel those different components. And that's what it's all about. So you can download Noda on many of the leading headsets. Go and check that out. The website is noda.io. And if you're interested in learning more about how VR can be used in languages, check out goldlotus.co.